Today I'd like to talk about my RCF2060 Land Pride Rotary Cutter, also called a bush hog or a brush hog. I want to talk about my experience with it. I've had it for about 3 or 4 years now. I bought it new. Talk about some of the nice features it has, and then also I'd like to give you some reviews. What do I think about it? And maybe some suggestions that might help you if you're thinking about buying one, or you're thinking about how to use one if you've gotten one of these yourself for your small property.
The 3-point system is a Category 1 that can be used with pins or is already quick hitch ready. The rotary cutter has a floating top link to help track the fluctuations in ground height. The gearbox is made out of very heavy-duty cast iron, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. For me, I opted the 2-plate slip clutch. The slip clutch allows the rotary cutter to slip when it hits something that might otherwise shatter the gearbox. I myself have hit large clumps of dirt, rocks, big stumps, logs, and even fence posts. You can't always see in the tall weeds. If you're cutting a field for the first time, there's just stuff buried there and you don't get to see it. The RCF series features a smooth top for easy cleaning. It's made from 10-gauge steel. As you can see, I've definitely put it to the test and have made a lot of dents and dings in it. Typically that's from backing up. We'll talk about that later in the tip section. The rear bracket allows for the height adjustment, and it comes with a laminated rubber tire. A laminated or a rubber tire. I chose the laminated tire myself. I recommend greasing it before every use, or at the very minimum, at least every 5 hours. Keep the wheel nice and lubed, and keep it spinning freely. The round back design is to help discharge grass better. Before I owned this one, I actually owned another off-brand rotary cutter. It was the square back design, and I really only noticed a slight difference in the discharging capabilities between the two different designs. Just a few things I forgot to mention was that this also comes with a 10-gauge stump jumper and a drive line holder. Today I'll be brush hogging about 2 acres with my 5-foot brush hog and my 32 horsepower Kubota. I like to figure about an hour per acre. It really depends on the kind of terrain that I'm brush hogging. This is fairly light brush and grass. I typically do this about once a year for this friend of mine, and so it has been mowed in the past. I'm familiar with the ground, and it takes me about 2 hours. Real thick brush. This brush hog will do up to 2 inches. As so stated, I have done up to about 2-inch brush, and as long as you walk into it slow, it seems to work very well. I suggest you become familiar with your tractor and using the equipment before you go out and start brush hogging fields. There is some danger involved in brush hogging, so you always want to be safe. Make sure that any bystanders are far away so there's no flying debris that can hit them. Always make sure your tractor is shut off and everything stopped rotating before you attach or take off your rotary cutter. Just always be prepared. I always like to have first aid kit and a fire extinguisher nearby, and I always wear protective equipment like some sort of safety glasses. So just a few things I've learned about over the many years of brush hogging that I've been doing. Using my rotary cutter, don't start in the tall weeds, especially if you have a clutch to release. You want it to slowly get up to speed and really get moving before you get into the tall weeds or grass. May bind up and cause your tractor to die out. You can set your deck height to the height you want to mow, and depending on how thick a brush you want to go through, sometimes a little bit higher is better. Keeps the tractor from binding up. So if you're able to, this one you are able to, but if you're using a different rotary cutter, you can possibly not set your deck height, but on this one you can. If you do have a bucket on your tractor, you can set your bucket height about the height of your rotary cutter, and then it will hit any stumps, rocks, logs, anything like that, and hopefully keep you from eating up your rotary cutter too much. I always like to keep an eye on my temperature gauge as well, especially on those really warm days. All of the weed seeds and grass and all that can get caught up in your radiator, causing an increase in temperature of your tractor. You want to make sure you look at that and take care of it. As far as maintenance, I haven't done a whole lot of maintenance to this specific brush hog since I got it. I might put 40 or 50 hours a year on it. It is due for a change in the gear oil and the gearbox. Never sharpen the blades on it. They say you don't have to, but if you're doing a lot of grass, it will make a little bit finer cut on the grass. I do notice a difference from when I first purchased the rotary cutter to now. When I'm doing just grassy areas, it doesn't quite have nice of finish. Now, you know, it's not a finish mower, but it does make a nice cut on grass if you keep the blade sharpened. Overall, I've been really pleased with the RCF2060. For my business, it's worked very well. I do a lot of maintenance for my customers, including small fields such as this 2-acre lot, and keep them up for them. They've been really happy with the results, keeping their weeds down, their brush down. I would highly recommend it, and if using a rotary cutter and a tractor is something you randomly like, then please like and subscribe for future videos. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments.